Good morning, friends. Are you anxious to sing together? I hope so. I invite you to rise in body and earth spirit, and we're going to sing out of the Teal Hymn Book, the first hymn, Jason Shelton's Morning Has Come. If you're joining us online, the lyrics are printed today in the actual order of service, so you don't have to pop around from document to document. Here we go. Amazing, thank you.
Good morning. Welcome to the Olympia Unitarian Universalist congregation. Thank you for joining us this morning. My name is Kurt Hill. I prefer he, him pronouns, and I'm a member of the worship arts team. Joining me in service this morning is our minister, Reverend Mary Gear, our music director, Troy Fisher, and the wonderful OUUC choir. Our community envisions an interconnected world that's loving, just, and healthy. We commit to live out our mission to welcome and wonder, bridge and become, embrace and empower. We are an intentionally inclusive congregation that welcomes people of all backgrounds, orientations, and expressions. You are welcome here just as you are, in all the ways you understand yourself, and in all the ways you're continuing to grow and evolve. We are a faith community that believes diversity is sacred and that we're enriched by the gifts that each of us bring. We learn from one another. Thank you for your presence here, however you arrived. We are so glad that you have. Here's a few things to know about our service this morning with the hope that you feel welcome. We're streaming live on Zoom and YouTube, and the service is being recorded. For those here in the sanctuary, you can see the subtitles on the screen in front and on Zoom for those online. We're a multi-generational community that welcomes people of all ages in the sanctuary. Over here, we have soft chairs and activities for your hands so that people can really feel at home right here. We also have nursery care and a story time program in the classroom wing. Families, please be where you're most comfortable. We're grateful for the many hands that have helped make worship happen this morning, visible and less than visible. Thank you to all who contribute in so many ways. After the service, everyone will have a chance to discuss reflection questions offered by Reverend Mary. For those online, we invite you to go to a breakout room for a virtual coffee chat. For those in person, please feel free to stay for coffee and fellowship in the Commons. At 12:15 today, please join us here in the sanctuary or back on the main Zoom room for the second forum on how to respond to hard things with Reverend Mary and Reverend Sara. Also at 12:15 today, the Generation XYZ lunch will be held. All who are ages between 18 and, 50-ish are welcome to gather for food and fellowship in the classroom wing. This Wednesday at 5 p.m. will be the first ever gathering of our new chronic illness support group held on Zoom and facilitated by Reverend Sara. This group is for anyone coping with chronic illness or disability. Find more information and the Zoom link in the weekly update and on the website. Next Saturday, the OUUC Buddhist-inspired meditation group is having our annual spring retreat right here in the sanctuary from 1 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. If you'd like to attend or have questions, please feel free to contact me. My email address is in the order of service. There are many things happening at OUUC. Check out the Tuesday electronic update or the website for the most up-to-date information. As we enter into this time of worship together, we invite you to open your heart and mind to the possibility of transformation in this gathering of community. It is good to be together. This morning, Unitarian Universalist congregations around the world in lighting a chalice, the symbol of our faith tradition, with the words of Jennifer Grayson. We come together every week, bound not by creed or a mutual desire to please one God or many gods, yet we are drawn together by a belief that how we are in the world, who we are together, matters. We light this chalice together in the knowledge that love, not fear, can change this world.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Reverend Mary. I use she, her pronouns. I am an older white woman with short, curly, silver and brown hair. I wear dark plastic rimmed glasses. And today I have on a black top, a green sweater, and a very colorful spring-colored stole. Our opening words this morning are offered by Esther Hurlburt. It is not always easy to find love at the center. There is not a set of easy instructions numbered 1 through 7, or maybe 8. It is not always easy to find love at the center. Today in Covenant, we celebrate our living tradition, which invites us to take deep breaths of fresh air into the newness of every day, so our minds, hearts, and spirits will be continually nourished. It is not always easy to find love at the center. So for today, we gather in Covenant to celebrate the reality that love is at the core of our beings, and that love will guide us if we open ourselves to the challenges which love requires of us. May we accept this challenge with dignity and grace. Come, let us worship together.
I invite you to rise again in body and earth spirit, and let's sing together. This is out of our digital online hymn book, For the Weaving of Our Lives. Don't panic. It's new words, but the melody is For the Beauty of the Earth. So you already know that.
All
we're over halfway through our stewardship drive. And while the board and stewardship team let you know that this year's goal is a big increase, you've responded with amazing generosity so far and have definitely matched the size of this request. We currently have 139 pledges for a total of $118 pledged, which is just shy of 65% of our goal. Thank you. Now, we still have a ways to go, but we're feeling pretty lucky this week as we celebrate St. Patrick's Day, hoping that there are many new pledges at the end of the rainbow. All pledges in any amount are gratefully received. If you haven't had a chance to get your pledge in yet, please stop by and see someone at the stewardship table after service, or if you're attending the service online, we encourage you to go to the stewardship pages on the OUUC website to make your pledge. Also, the stewardship team invites you to the Thursday night community dinner takeover this week. We hope to see you there to celebrate all that we've accomplished so far in this pledge drive. May our love for this community drive our desire to support it. Over the past month, we've heard from OUUC members and friends about how they support this congregation. Today's testimonial is from Tiffany Felch. Tiffany Felch.
Good morning. I'm Tiffany Felch. I use she, her, and they, them pronouns. I'm a short, middle-aged person with olive skin, wavy brown hair, and I'm wearing a green dress and tan sweater. I found OUUC at a pivotal time in my life. I was adjusting to the shift from being a single mom of one to being newly married and co-parenting 5 kids, ages 2 to 16, in our big blended family. I was an overwhelmed mom. I was looking for a little peace and for a community of like-minded people who might help us raise our kids with good values. In November 2012, I walked through those doors. I visited for the first time. From Sarah's story to Arthur's sermon to the warm welcome over coffee, I knew I had found the right place. We brought the whole crew the next Sunday. In those early years, I learned so much, both from this pulpit and from helping teach RE classes down the hall. I listened carefully to the language used here and how you seem to care for one another, both giving and asking for help. That was new to me. As a Gen X kid and oldest daughter, I had been conditioned to value independence above all else. It has been here over the years that I've learned the value of interdependence and beloved community. Being a member of this congregation has been an evolution of spiritual and intellectual growth. I've had to unlearn as much as I've learned on my journey. From worship services to classes, from serving on committees to washing dishes after Thursday dinners, I'm grateful for the many ways that we can lean into community and belonging here. A quote that really speaks to me is, "Church is a place where you get to practice what it means to be human," by James Luther Adams. All those years ago, none of us could have predicted the national and international events that have since unfolded. Now, more than ever before, I rely on the grounding I get from being a member of this congregation. We are navigating uncertain times together, right here in beloved community together. This congregation, all of you, help me to have the strength and stamina to show up in these times. For my family, for myself, for my professional work, and for social justice actions too numerous to list. This is why I pledge monthly to sustain OUUC. Our building, our programs, our dedicated staff and minister. My goal is to ensure that we remain a wellspring of support for each other. And so we can continue to practice what it means to be human and to keep the doors open wide for the next person looking for a little peace. Please join me in pledging generously. Thank you.
Each Sunday, we engage in the spiritual practices of generosity and gratitude by joining together in service to our community and to something greater than ourselves. This is an opportunity to express our gratitude for the gifts that life has given us, for the network of relationships in which we live, and for the presence of this community. We each have the power to share, and when we combine our gifts to create an offering together, we're able to do more than any of us can do alone. If you're new or visiting us for the first or second time, you're our guest, and we don't expect you to contribute. However, if you are moved to be part of our offering, what you share is accepted with gratitude. The offering collected here does two things. Half helps support the ongoing work of the congregation, which is, of course, supported by your regular pledges. The other half of our offering goes to charity. Most is shared with an organization that serves our community in harmony with our Unitarian Universalist values, and a small portion goes to the OUUC Ministers Benevolence Fund to support the more urgent needs in our community. Our Share the Plate organization for March and April is POWER, Parents Organizing for Welfare and Economic Rights. This is what they share about their work.
Hello, OUUC. My name is Mary Vent, and I am the community organizer at POWER.
My name is Kivette Palmas, and I'm a board member at POWER. Our membership is largely made up of low-income parents who are solo parenting with little support. We strive to change systems that harm people and to mitigate the sometimes daily trauma of poverty that our members live with. We mitigate that trauma by keeping a communal space where people can gather, learn, build skills, and build community. All of our programs are designed to include low-income families who usually are left out of community organizing. So we always have childcare and food on site so that low-income parents can participate and lead. In this paradigm that we live by, low-income parents, mostly moms, are leaders growing in knowledge, skills, and confidence. And they carry that knowledge, skills, and confidence with them into the community and the legislator.
Here's some ways to get involved with POWER. You can follow us on Facebook, where we are listed under our full name, which is Parents Organizing for Welfare and Economic Rights. Follow us, please, and share our events and posts. You can follow us on Instagram, where we are under our name there is Olympia Mama Power. Or come to our events. We have 2 Sock Monkey workshops coming up. One is on March 17th, and the one in April is April 14th. And also in April, we have Arts Walk, which is the 24th and 25th, and we could really use volunteers for that event. And speaking of volunteering, we are very versatile in our volunteer recruitment, as in you can tell us what you are interested in or what you know how to do, and then we can find a volunteer position for you. It could be database work, grant writing, childcare, legislative advocacy and literacy, outreach and advocacy, event setup, and more. So to volunteer, you can contact me, Mary, the community organizer of POWER, at 352-9716. Thank you for your support.
We offer our thanks to all who give, including those who give to the offering electronically. You can find out about how to do that in the order of service or on the OUUC website. May the offering now be generously given as it is gratefully received.
Do not leave your cares at the door. Do not leave them there when you come into this place. Be open to forgiveness and transformation. Come on in, you are welcome here. And do not leave your cares at the door. Oh, bring your pain and sorrow and joy. There's a place for them upon the altar of life. Be open to forgiveness and transformation. Come on in, you are welcome here. And do not leave your cares at the door. This is a place of grace, a place of losing and finding our way upon the winding road, meeting and parting, stumbling and starting over.
Every story is a sacred here, even yours, even yours.
So come on in and do not leave your cares at the door. Do not leave them there when you come into this place. Be open to forgiveness and transformation. Come on in, you are welcome here. And do not leave your cares at the door. Amen. Amen.
So much, choir. And thank you for your generosity in all the ways you share your gifts. There is so much in the world right now. We all carry a lot in our minds, in our hearts, in our bodies. And so we come together in community so that we can support each other with our worries and our fears and our celebrations and our joys. So come into community, bringing all that you have in your life as we place stones in the water of community. We'll hear a drum beat. I invite you to allow its resonance into your body. It's the heartbeat of life and the heartbeat of our community. I invite you to take a deep breath in and out. Notice the air as it enters and leaves your body, nourishing each of your cells. Feel the earth solid beneath us, our Mother Earth who holds us always. Feel the warmth of connection and community. Carmel Shields shares that she works at the community kitchen with a mother of an Air Force soldier. And she has asked us to send our love and care to her child, who is serving in an unknown location in the Middle East, isolated from family and any accurate information. Everyone serving in war and impacted by war is someone's child. May we continue to be a people who call for peace and justice. This week marks the end of Ramadan, the most holy time for Muslims who will break their fast and celebrate Eid al-Fitr on Thursday and Friday with community feasting and community service. We send our wishes to our Muslim siblings for a blessed feast. And this Friday is the vernal equinox, when daylight and night are equal as we shift from winter to spring. May we enjoy the return of the light and the return of new life. Let's open our circle wide now, inviting those on Zoom to share in the chat as you share from your heart. Those of us in the sanctuary will be able to see your sharing on the screen, and it's also shared with me and the pastoral care team. For those on site today, I invite you to come forward if there's something you'd like to bring into community. You may place a stone in the water as you hold your sharing in your heart. Let's hear the heartbeat of our community as we reach out our hearts in love and care to all who share today. We'll place a stone in the water for all that has been shared online, shared from the heart. And one more stone placed in the water for all that we hold in our hearts and that remains unspoken this day. We hold together all that has been shared. May you feel yourself witnessed. May you know that you are loved. Recognizing our interconnection and honoring the practice of grounding ourselves, I invite you into a time of meditation. I'll offer a spoken meditation and then we'll hold silence together. This is the Buddhist loving kindness or metta meditation, which we begin by blessing ourselves, and then we move out into all of our circles, eventually blessing all in our interdependent web of life. So I invite you to settle in wherever you are, sitting, standing, walking, lying down. Relax your body, moving from your head down to your toes. And when you arrive at your feet, recognize that you are connected to the earth beneath us. You might soften your focus or close your eyes if you're comfortable. And notice your breath. I invite you to place a hand on your heart or your belly, and please repeat after me. May I be well. May I be well. May I be safe. May I be safe. May I be strong. May I be strong. May I live with ease. May I live with ease. I invite you to extend your hands, heart, and mind out into others in your circle of family, friends, neighbors, co-workers, those around you. And please repeat after me. May you be well. May you be well. May you be safe. May you be safe. May you be strong. May you be strong. May you live with ease. May you live with ease. I invite you to extend your hands, heart, and mind out as far as you can to encompass all beings, all that is in the web of life. Please repeat after me. May all beings be well. May all beings be well. May all beings be safe. May all beings be safe. May all beings be strong. May all beings be strong. May all beings live with ease. May all beings live with ease. May this be so. Let's be in silence together.
Today's first reading is the OUUC Covenant, crafted by the OUUC congregation and revised over time. We offer gratitude to Lightfoot McBride for creating these beautiful slides. The covenant begins with this: we, the congregants of the Olympia Unitarian Universalist congregation, enter into this covenant as an expression of our commitment to each other. Because we value our congregation, we promise to enhance its health with our time, talent, energy, and financial resources, and honor our commitments here. Because we seek to be a friendly and inclusive congregation, we promise to provide a safe and nurturing environment for all members, young and old, assist those among us who have urgent needs for care and support, and provide opportunities for personal and spiritual growth. Because we choose to journey together, we promise to create and support an organizational structure that is responsive, responsible, identifiable, and accessible. Share our gifts as we participate in the leadership of the congregation, and encourage our congregational leaders to listen and speak openly, understand deeply, work with fairness, and serve with passion. Because we need not think alike to love alike, we promise to speak and work openly, honestly, and lovingly with our leadership, providing informed, constructive feedback when we believe change is needed. Because we recognize that conflict is normal, we promise to speak with each other directly and honestly from a position of respect, kindness, and love, recognizing that to do so, there will be times we need to seek counsel from the community. Because we strive to live our Unitarian Universalist principles, we promise to inform ourselves about and engage issues that concern our larger communities.
Part 1, Creating Covenant. I invite you to travel with me back in time. The year is 1637, almost 400 years ago. The location is Dedham, Massachusetts, which is about 15 miles southwest of Boston. It's a short drive now, but in 1637, it would have taken hours by horse or carriage or boat, or a day or longer walking, which was the usual form of transportation in 1637. We've arrived in Dedham with pilgrims and Puritans from England, who began arriving here in 1620, people seeking religious freedom. We are among colonizers, people seeking freedom, thinking that they are settling a wilderness, but they are displacing the Wampanoag, Pequot, Narragansett, and Mohican tribes that have lived in this area for a really long time. Often the Pilgrims and Puritans who colonized New England came from the same place in England and already knew each other. But unlike those other towns, Dedham is being settled by people from many parts of England who don't know each other. At this time in Dedham in 1637, there are about 30 families. They've claimed and allotted land for each family, building homes and shelter pens for their animals and planting crops. And now they are thinking about building a church. But they don't know each other. And they have fled their homeland where government-imposed religion was forced upon them with creeds they did not believe and practices they were not comfortable with. And so, to chart a path forward, They decide to hold weekly meetings in people's homes to get to know each other and talk about how to be together, what's important to them. Everyone in Dedham is welcome to participate in the meetings. Now, each week, a question is collectively decided that will be the topic of the next meeting. And the topics are things like, do we even have the right to form a new church in the wilderness? What are the principles that might govern that church? How will we live together in civil society? Who would be eligible to be a part of our community or be a member of the church? And how do we define the common good? They do not discuss dogma or creed. They talk about how they will live and worship together. They will meet weekly for a year. And at the end of that year, their central theme will be members of their new free church should be joined in covenant, a covenant of religious loyalty to the spirit of love. They created the Dedham Covenant, which outlined their principles and agreements for how they would live and worship together, including how they would resolve their disagreements, because they knew there would be some. Once it was signed by the 125 men in the town, their loyalty in the church was only to the spirit of love, working through their own hearts and minds. Now, the people of Dedham didn't create the idea or practice of covenant. It is an ancient idea captured in the Hebrew Bible with stories of covenants between God and the Jewish people. The story of Noah's Ark and the flood ends with God's promise to never destroy the world again. And covenant is central to the story of God's promise to Abraham of a land and many descendants to inhabit it, creating a great nation named Israel that would bless the world. This story is what animated the creation of our modern day Israel and informs the actions of that country now. The history of covenants connects the past to the present and the future. The people we visited in Dedham in 1637 are our Unitarian ancestors, whom we can thank for our UU tradition of gathering in covenant, not creed, and maybe also for our tradition of having lots of meetings. It was a remarkable thing then to gather in covenant, not creed, and it is a remarkable thing now that we are committed to each other by the agreements that we make, not because we believe or think alike. As descendants of the Dedham Church, Unitarian Universalism is not a creedal faith. We don't say together every Sunday morning or any time a statement of faith or creed together. Some of you who came from other traditions might have experienced that. What holds us together in community is covenant, our promises, our agreements about how we are together. It can be defined this way. A covenant is mutual, sacred promises between individuals or groups to stay in relationship, care for each other, and work together in good faith. This definition is from the Unitarian Universalist Association's Commission on Appraisal report on covenant from the year 2021. The Commission is an independent body described and given authority by the UUA bylaws to study and review the actions of the association. And in 2021, they were focusing on covenant as the foundation of our faith as we moved through a challenging time of change in our denomination and through a world that was impacted by COVID. There are many examples of covenants in our lives and communities, although we might not call them that. Wherever there is a relationship, there is a covenant, either implied or explicit. A legal union has long been called a covenant of marriage. And you might say that the U.S. Constitution and Bill of Rights is the covenant for our democracy. The covenant of this congregation was our reading that you just heard. I've not been able to uncover much of the origin story of that covenant. I've been told it's maybe 20 years old and that it was written in a time of conflict, which is often the origin story of covenants in congregations. It happens regularly. OUUC's covenant is the mutual sacred promises that we make to be in relationship, to care about each other, and to work together in good faith. The Commission on Appraisal wrote this about covenant. Many of our leaders believe that without covenant, a congregation would not have a spiritual center and would be nothing more than a social club with a forum for ideas. So it is covenant, either implicit or explicit, that shared understanding that we honor diversity, promote social justice, and seek to enhance our mutual spiritual growth. Those things really identify us as a community of faith. Now, one of the foundations of Unitarian Universalism is that we are interconnected, interdependent. And because we are interconnected with a multitude of beliefs and spiritual experiences, we are bound together not by creed, but by the agreements we make. It is our interconnection that leads us to make covenants. And in this and any Unitarian Universalist faith community, you can believe something different than the people who come here. And you can believe something different than me or any minister who serves you. I don't tell you what to believe, and you don't expect me or others to believe what you do. Because we agree to accompany each other as we explore and define our beliefs, a covenant is a commitment to treat each other in ways that support and encourage our shared spiritual growth. Now, one of the requirements of being in a covenantal relationship is that we must look beyond ourselves to our connection with others and the goals of our shared community. When we create and enter into covenant, we are asked to surrender some of our individualism in order to reach the mission or shared goals of the congregation. And this can be really challenging because it is countercultural to our American individualistic society. Think John Wayne or "You're not the boss of me." It is a paradox of Unitarian Universalism that we are free to explore our beliefs and decide them for ourselves, and we surrender some of our individualism in order to be in community. It is that tension of exploration, freedom, and the surrender that invites us to grow spiritually. It is our ancestors that gave us the practice of covenant, and their covenant was captured by the 20th century Unitarian Universalist minister, Reverend L. Griswold Williams, and it's recited often in UU congregations. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek truth in love, and to help one another.
is OUUC's behavioral covenant, crafted by the OUUC congregation in 2023-2024. We again offer gratitude to Lightfoot McBride for creating these beautiful slides. The behavioral covenant begins with this. As congregants of OUUC, we are united in our commitment to treat one another with dignity and love. This behavioral covenant formalizes our commitment. It requires making promises and trusting that we will embrace these promises. We know we will make mistakes and disappoint one another, but when we cause harm, we promise to take the necessary steps to return to right relationship. This behavioral covenant is a path for ensuring that we at OUUC will be seen, heard, cared for, and accompanied on our journey. We bring this behavioral covenant into all situations and interactions as we work together toward fulfilling our vision, mission, and goals. It will guide us in becoming our best selves within, among, and beyond, and throughout our congregation. As we fulfill these sacred promises to each other, we become the congregation we aspire to be. I will create and foster a safe space to allow all who come in peace to feel welcome and included. I will work to acknowledge and eliminate my own biases and to dismantle systems of oppression in the congregation and in our communities. I will speak honestly about my personal experiences and will express my views in a productive manner. I will listen to others with attention and curiosity and will stay open to alternative perspectives, recognizing that I may not fully understand. I will express my discomfort in a timely and respectful manner when I perceive behaviors towards others or myself to be harmful, creating space for resolution. I will communicate directly with the person with whom I have a conflict or concern. If I need support, I will promptly seek assistance from the Healthy Congregations team. I will consider the potential impact of my words and actions and will work to remedy any negative impacts, recognizing that the impact of my words and actions can differ from my intent. I will respect others' gifts, experience, knowledge, and commitment, and will work cooperatively with our leaders to understand and respect the decisions that are made on behalf of the congregation. And I will, to the best of my ability, contribute my time, talent, energy, and financial resources, and will honor my commitments to OUUC.
Part 2, paying attention to covenant. I invite you to just take a breath for a moment and notice how the words of the behavioral covenant landed in your body, in your mind, and in your spirit. When we started the practice and the process of creating the behavioral covenant in 2022, there were some worries that people expressed. Those I will statements are strong, aren't they? People said things like, are those just a bunch of rules? Who has the right to tell me what to do? And what if I don't do all of those things? What if I mess up and get it wrong? Will I get kicked out of the congregation? Reasonable questions and reasonable worries that we needed to work through. And there were also some who said, oh, I feel more comfortable here now, knowing what's expected of me and what I can expect of others. A whole range of experiences through this spiritual practice of covenanting. As we were beginning to gather in person again after COVID, I invited the congregation to create a behavioral covenant so that we could be explicit about how we were going to be together when we gathered in person again. What behaviors could we promise each other? And so in 2022, people of this congregation gathered in small groups on site and on Zoom to revisit our OUUC covenant, just like the people of Dedham, Massachusetts did in 1637, except for the Zoom part. We gathered in small groups over several weeks and months to talk about how we were going to be and worship together. We revisited the existing covenant, and we made a few wording changes to remove some ableist language so that we could be as inclusive as possible. The OUUC covenant was our first reading today, and it is lovely. It is also very abstract. It's kind of hard to know what we're supposed to do. It can be hard to make it real. And that's where a behavioral covenant can be helpful. Over several months, we talked about the behaviors that we wanted to offer to each other, what was reasonable to expect of ourselves and of each other, and what it would be like to be the community that we aspire to. And then a writing team created a draft of the behavioral covenant and took it back to the congregation and got feedback, and there was some back and forth over time until we came to some language that mostly folks could live with. And that's what we just saw and heard. Now, one of the important things that we learned about covenants is that they change over time. We are a living tradition. Our values, beliefs, and behavior change as we change and grow as a people and as a faith tradition. We had just been through a global pandemic, and we were changed. The original covenant in Dedham was signed only by men, even though there were women and likely trans and non-binary people in that community. And the covenant of that community was not big enough to embrace the native people who were their neighbors. And so each time we revisit our covenant, we seek to bring in more people and more beings into our interconnected web of life and the circle of love. So in 2022, we approached the spiritual practice of creating a behavioral covenant with the understanding that a covenant isn't rules or a legal agreement, but it is made up of compromises and promises. A covenant is a framework for our expectations, and it is about behavior, not personality or individuals. It is a declaration of love and faithfulness that makes us accountable to each other for how we will behave. As Unitarian Universalist religious educator Jenica Davis Hockett says, covenant is a verb disguised as a noun. Our covenant is a collection of words, and while the words are important, it is our actions that determine whether we keep our promises. A covenant is less about what we write and more about what we do. The words are reminders of our promises. They're pointers to our aspirations of how we want to be a beloved community. And they are breadcrumbs to help us find our way back into right relationship. Because we know that we will fall out of covenant. As much as we try, we are human, and we break our promises. As philosopher Martin Buber said, humans are promise-making, promise-keeping, promise-breaking, promise-renewing creatures. The promise is that when a breach of covenant occurs, we can choose to work together to repair and recommit to our shared covenant, beginning again in love. We live in a cycle of rupture and repair, inviting each other back into right relationship. I mentioned before that the U.S. Constitution and Bill of Rights can be seen as a covenant for our nation. The agreements that we have made about how we will be together as a people in this country. They are words on paper, really old paper, but words on paper. And one of the ways to frame the challenge of our nation right now is that our leaders have fallen out of covenant with we the people. We are learning that the words on paper are not enough to protect our aspirations and promises. It will take actions, the behavior of many of us and our leaders, to repair and restore the broken relationships in our country and around the world. This is hard work, and it requires the courage and the strength to build and rebuild trust again and again and again. This is the work that we practice here in this community. I've said before that what we do here is what we take out there. Here we can learn to make covenants. We encourage every group and team and committee to have one. And here we can learn to return to covenant when we break our promises. Our covenants aren't intended to kick people out. They're intended to invite people back in, again and again. One more bit of wisdom from the UUA Commission on Appraisal's exploration of covenant. A covenant, a promise, can only exist with intention and can only be kept alive with attention. Covenant is essential to what Unitarian Universalism is, and when we are inattentive to it, it is at our peril. It is the source of strength, focus, clarity, and mission. As with all of our spiritual learning, we are not alone and we support each other. Lightfoot McBride, who made the beautiful slides of our covenants, is a member of the Healthy Congregations team, the group whose purpose is to help us live into our covenant. And one day Lightfoot said to me, "Reverend Mary, where's the covenant?" And so he made these slides to help us remember and to have it be present that the covenant is visible and helps all of us. Thank you, Lightfoot. We are encouraged to talk directly to each other, and sometimes we need the support of others to build a bridge. Members of the Healthy Congregations team are ready to support us when there is an oops or an ouch that we need help mending. And you can learn more about this team in the Thursday Spark. It is not always easy to find love at the center. There is not a set of easy instructions numbered 1 through 7 or 8 or 9. We are each capable of harm, and we are each capable of love. It requires humility and our intention to show up for each other. So in this time, more than ever, we proclaim the truth that love is stronger than fear and love is stronger than hate. We carry forward into the future the gift of our ancestors who taught us that we have the power to love across differences and repair what we have broken. It is not always easy to find love at the center, and we are called to do so again and again and again. May we be humble, brave, and strong as we do so. Let's sing together, shall we?
I invite you to rise and let's sing together Cliff Harlan's wonderful Love, Come Take Me Home. I've been a traveler on a lonesome road, winding and roaming away, so far from home. I turn my footsteps and hurry on, but still at the end of the day, I am so so come take me home, show me the way. I wandered far too long. Come take me home to stay. One day I'll find an open door, and open arms inviting in to come once more. A touch, a smile, a friendly face to make strangers melody in that well-known place. So come take me home, show me the way. I wandered far too long. Come take me home to stay. No more a traveler, no more to roam. A circle created by love will be my home. We'll share that circle and own it wide, so all weary wandering souls can be safe inside. So come take me home, show me the way. I wandered far too long, but come take me home to stay.
We extinguish our chalice with the words of the Reverend Julian Jamaica Soto. Our hope does not live in some glimmer of an indistinct future. Rather, we know the way to the world of which we dream. And by covenant and the movement forward of one right action and the next, we know that one day we will arrive home. May you go with joy, go with commitment, go with love.